Hey guys, it's TF Nut. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing another action figure review. This time it's going to be of the McFarlane Toys Follow Amazon TV show. I'm going to assume Series 1. This is going to be of the Ghoul action figure. Very excited to have this figure here. I love this TV show. I'm a big Fallout fan. This show just rocks. The new season is right around the corner, which this is marketed as a Season 2 figure, but it works as a Season 1, of course. This one looked just so great. It looked pretty unique compared to the rest. Not that they look bad or anything, but there is a lot of reuse that I'm seeing in some of these figures, which is fine, you know, if it makes sense. Like, you know, the two ladies that are in vault suits, I get that. This, though, just being completely unique. And then we have a Platinum Edition, I believe, of Cooper Howard. That's also really cool to see, but I'm just glad to have this. This was in stock. It probably still is at Big Bad Toy Store, so I was not waiting for any pre-orders. Took, like, a little less than a week to come in. Anyway, figure in the box here. Pretty nice packaging. The light is getting in the way a bit, but you do see where it says 12 and up right there. You do also see the figure in the box right there. Some of the contents there. The backdrop and that card there, I'm not going to take that out of the box. I'm just telling you right now. Or that stand, you can see that it's going to have that Fallout logo on that basic black stand they usually have. Really nice desert logo there, but also the Vault 33 logo, as well as the name of the character as well. It's just, I think I've heard that these are at Targets as well. I haven't seen them for myself though there. We do have Fallout right there. Some of the different characters in the show. I have Maximus on pre-order. I am not picking him up yet. I do have a Lucy, even though that is really expensive because she's an Elite Edition. I do have that on pre-order. I really hope that's going to be worth it. Probably not. But then we do have McFarlane Toys in the top there. And I do really like this faded yellow from, like, you know, the Vault Tech stuff with the blue in there. And then you do have the Fallout logo as well. On the top of the packaging, I forgot to mention, it's going to just say McFarlane Toys logo, as well as Fallout, the Ghoul, and Vault 33. The bottom here, you see where it says, you know, Prime, because this is a Prime show, as well as the Bethesda logo. And then I will get a little close there so you can see the barcode in case you need that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the back here. It's just an image of the character. We get a little close. You can see that desert there, the Mojave Desert. I assume it's the Mojave Desert, since that's kind of where they're leading to at the end of Season 1. Sorry for spoilers, but it's been out for a little long. Yeah, really digging this. Let's go ahead and get this figure out of the packaging. And here is the figure out of the packaging, and I quite like this a lot. I'm pretty surprised. I guess I shouldn't be, because I thought it looked good, but you know, sometimes McFarlane Toys are hit and miss with me. This here I think is a hit. It's not perfect, especially my particular copy here has some tight joints that I want to address, but still good. Let's take a look at the accessories. Don't take a closer look at the figure. First thing I want to mention are the accessories I usually don't take out of the box, which are a collectible card and this stand that just has the Fallout print on there. If you get McFarlane Toys figures, you're kind of familiar with what's going on. They do this with a lot of the stuff that they make in their different lines, so I'm just not going to take those out. Don't feel like taking them out right now. Anyway, an accessory that I did want to take out is this hat. I do really like his hat. I do think it's like this wash, almost like a dry brush of gray on this tan looking hat. And I do think, I feel like they just kind of did one and done just a little bit. So I feel like they could have gone a little harder, made it maybe a little bit more detailed, but it's really not bad. I mean, there's still detail in there, like this little tassel or whatever this is wrapped around the hat. It's a soft, it's still pretty hard, but it's a softer plastic. I'll tell you right now, this little piece that's going towards the back there, that's sticking out, that is, I believe it's oriented to just be like this. And honestly, if you play around with this, I think you'll notice that this doesn't really fit as flush as when they do this. So I do like how they designed it to fit the actual top of the head more, so that you're not confused on how you're going to pop that on there. And when you do pop it on there, he looks really good with it. Some of the lighting is going, during the detail section, I'm not going to have this on here because some of the lighting will make it look like it's just too much shadow in there, but that does create a cool effect. If you want to get some shadows in there, you want to tilt the hat down maybe a little bit. I did it too much. Actually, tilting down is also not super flush, so just keep that keep that in mind. Still, nice feature with that. We also have this really nice, if you could please focus, this really nice, super OP revolver he had. This thing was insane in the show. And it's really nicely done. I like this gunmetal type of paint they have on the silver. I don't think it's as good as NECA's, but I don't want to compare too much. It's still quite good. The little black section right here towards the barrel. It's just kind of there's really nothing going on in terms of like an actual shallow section for the barrel, which is fine, I guess. I don't know what this section is, but that's done nice. But this is a softer plastic. You could maybe break this right there, just be careful. But the actual handle is good too. I will go ahead and show you an image of what he looks like holding this. So one-handed, still looks pretty good. I do feel like the grip in the right hand is just a little too loose. You could still kind of make it look, naturally to where he is shooting it in a good, just in a good pose. And it doesn't look like it's falling out too much. If you do it in like a sort of a two-handed pose like this, I think you could kind of cover any kind of gappage or, the revolver falling out of the hands a little bit better. I think it's covered up. Yeah, it just is a little bit of a loose grip for not just this weapon, the other weapon it comes with too. I will mention though, and I might have a little bit, okay, now you just rotate the torso. You do have weapon storage, so you could just insert it into this little holster right there. Push it back if you want, and yeah, that is hidden pretty well. Then you have the last accessory I want to talk about is this repeater rifle. This looks fantastic. They do also have some detailing. I wish it was done a little bit better, but you can still get detailing underneath here on this little grip section, I guess, under the barrel. The actual barrel, again, doesn't have anything shallow in there. That's fine. The gunmetal slightly could be better, but it's really not bad. I like how it's sculpted overall. Doesn't move at all, which is fine. It's just, retail figure. They don't do things like Mezco figures, Still looks pretty good. The handle, yeah, that also looks nice. The hammer, pretty good. Let's go ahead and give you a look at a two-handed pose here. Now, the left hand is a pretty wide grip there. So doing two-handed poses with a weapon like this, where it's a little bit smaller in his hands, it looks like, it will look a little unnatural, but this figure will hold it no problem whatsoever. You can even wrap the fingers around the trigger hole, as well as where the I don't know exactly the mechanics of this, but pretty much any hole around the trigger on the handle, you could fit the fingers around there. And then you do have weapon storage on the back here. I do feel like that this is, this is a softer plastic holster section, so I feel like at some point this could warp the rifle, so just be careful with that. I'll do a quick image of him holding the shotgun from one of the McFarlane Toys weapon pack sets, because he really doesn't want to hold other weapons except this one here. It kind of looks good with him. It kind of looks natural, maybe a little bit cartoony, but still good. So if you have other weapons packs from other 7-inch figures or McFarlane Toy stuff, I think it's nice to play around with this and see what will work and what won't. Okay, so the hat is off, and that way you get an idea of actually this likeness here, which I think that this head sculpt is fantastic. This looks a lot like how Walton Goggins looks with all those prosthetics on when he's in this role, especially from the side here. I mean, I guess it's not too hard to capture him because you're just kind of getting a ghoul as well. That is really sick. I'm wondering if people will take this head sculpt and make, other ghouls in their collection. Just, make the eyes black, I guess, or blackened. They're not completely black, but and his are definitely not completely black in the show. I don't care about that. I just think that these look great. Like the eyes look great. The hole where the nose would be is also nice. Lip color is great. A lot of variation in the skin to where it's like this grayish, like really dark, like sun-kissed, I guess is the color type of detailing going on here with a little bit of gray, I feel like, to bring up some accents and just like some like deformation in his skin too. All that's really nice. The cheekbones look good, the ears look great. You also have actually some really good detailing in the neck too. There's like some sore spots, I guess it looks like. That's a little bit darker and a little bit lighter in some of these areas too. So that whole section with his likeness looks just really awesome to me. I do like the ammo belt. It's a little bit sloppy in some areas with the gold going out to the black there, but it's still a pretty nice effort, I think. Buckle up there, no problems there. Looks pretty good. This is really nicely detailed. It is a little flimsy feeling, but still looks really good. A little bit of a buckle going on there. It is, again, I think I already said it's soft plastic, so don't need to mention it again. I think this whole thing is a separate piece, but in some areas it is seems like it's ported in or glued onto this upper torso, which this whole upper torso is a soft plastic piece. They will do this from time to time, actually a lot of the time, where it is a soft plastic piece here. But I think it's detailed pretty nice to where you can't really tell. I do like that blue on the undershirt, I guess that's what that is. There looks like some gray going on there, but I just noticed that. And we do have some buttons on the coat here. And I do feel like they could have done a little bit better with a variation of paint in here. It looks just a little bit of black, but mostly brown. Doesn't look bad at all. A little bit of texturing, I feel like, on the actual like leather coat here. And then I don't know if that, I don't think I messed around with this too much. But I feel like that is a little bit of a black scuff right there on that shoulder. Yeah, I don't know how that happened. Maybe that was out of the box. I don't know if I did that, so that's something to keep in mind, I guess. But then there's also like a little bit of a black, you know, wash going on here. So I don't know if that's just a heavy wash that they got on accident. It's really not a big deal. It's just something like that I would mention. You kind of get some more of that detailing like this leather on the back here. I think, again, it could be a little bit better on the leather detail. Yeah, some parts don't look super detailed like they should. It's pretty nicely glossy though. I don't really know if it's supposed to be because the arms do look a little bit more of a matte finish. Not completely, but compared to this more glossy coat, I still think a lot of the wrinkles and like the tattered areas and the pockets, all that looks great. Then you do get down here. There's actually some buttons on the cuff there. These gloves, you know, these are the only hands this figure comes packaged with, and there's nothing really to write home about. They're just kind of these super dark brown, almost black looking hands. You see how that large grip is done right there. Almost feels like the fingers might be a little bit deformed here. I might want to fix that later. You get down to this like vest section here with some buttons too. Really nice gold on that buckle there. I think that's in the, yeah, I think that is on the diaper piece. Nothing, it's just easiest way to call it that. That soft plastic piece that is around the crotch area, but this does feel like a completely separate belt here. Yeah, I feel like you can maybe take this off. Maybe it is ported in some area and I just can't tell, so keep that in mind. This hard plastic leg really does want to overlap too, as you see there on the diaper piece, so that's kind of maybe it's because I have it done, you know, rotated in a certain way. Yeah, so but it's also kind of hidden, so you can't really see it that well. I do think it's a little bit of a darker green in that crotch area compared to the rest here, but it actually kind of blends in. Now I'm looking at it, actually kind of blends in more than I thought it would. Either way, there's this nice gray variation going on, these wrinkles too, these like pinstripe detailing also. I'm trying to feel, yeah, they actually went all the way. It's not really pinstripes, I guess, but all these stripe areas are individually sculpted, so that is actually quite nice. Getting to the back there, this like ripped section of the pants or whatever this is, that's pretty nice. That's like a soft plastic piece that's ported in there. The back of the pants, you can't really get much detailing going on there. I'm sure the inside of this soft plastic piece is just some type of joint that's not going to look very good, so no reason for me to take that off. Lots of wrinkles towards the shin area. I really dig how that's done. And then we get down to the shoes, almost like these cowboy boots with nice like stitching or whatever this detailing is on top of these feet. That's what the bottom of the feet look like there. We have these gold spurs there. They don't move at all. They're a little bit of a soft plastic. Overall, yeah, that all of this just looks really fantastic. I think some of the detailing in some areas could be just a little bit better, but I love how the overall look of this figure is done, especially that head sculpt. That likeness is awesome. Now, I did mention this earlier, but the joints aren't perfect on this figure. Not only range of motion, but I do have some tight joints. So let's talk about this. It is a dumbbell joint going up here. It actually looks up really well, and then down a lot nicer than I thought it would. Side to side's really good, and then the rotation here, there's no problems there after that, so that's pretty nice. This arm, both of these actually go out all the way, so that's nice. I do think they have a little bit of like a a fake butterfly joint in there. Sometimes it just doesn't really work, so it just kind of goes, just jostles forward and back a little bit. It does go all the way around though. Upper arm swivel, double jointed elbow, pretty good. We do have this wrist articulation where it rotates here at the actual forearm, and then you get a swivel at the hands. You can make it go up and down or swivel it to make it go in and out. That's for both sides. The ball joint here is a little bit hard to move around, so you kind of get a crunch, but this coat is just going to get in the way. You're really not going to get a crunch back at all because of that. Forward, I don't know. Side to side, yeah, I don't really know, dude. The swivel there, just fine, so I will mention that. Something I'm surprised about, actually. First of all, let's kick this out. It could be better, and then that's really not going to go back at all because of this coat. But I will say it seems like they sculpted a little bit of space up in here, because you do get ever so slightly this thigh rotation. It's not going to be a complete 360. That is a step in the right direction that I don't know if McFarlane Toys has done for a while, because I definitely don't get all of their stuff every year. I get like a handful of their stuff, honestly. So that's nice to see. Even just a little bit is appreciated. We do have this double jointed knee. This is really tight right here. I can't move that. And these are like oiled, like the joints are oiled up, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, and then even down to the ankles, rotating it here, you do get this swivel going into the actual pants, but they're really tight. And then the down is actually not tight at all, so that's good. I mean, it's not super loose or anything. Up is decent, and then the ankle rocker on both sides is also extremely tight, but it is there, being a toe hinge. So I do have tight joints that kind of prevent me from showing off all of the range of motion. There's decent articulation in here, but a lot of it is hindered because of this coat. Before anyone asks, the weapons for the T60 Power Armor figure are pretty much scaled up for that figure, so you're really not going to have any compatibility of those weapons with the Ghoul. But we're looking at about 17 centimeters here, and I actually believe, I'm looking, that's getting about 6 3/4 inches. Might be a little bit shorter than normal size McFarlane Toys figures. Don't have one on me right now. All you can see is just how big the T60 is next to it, but just how tall the Ghoul is in a 7-inch scale compared to a 6-inch scale Funko 6-inch, whatever it was called, Fallout 3 figure. Left and right, standard size Marvel Legends and Black Series size comparison there. Overall, I am quite pleased with this figure. I think they actually did quite a great job. I really like this likeness. I really like most of the detailing. The weapons that we do have are quite good here. I just think that maybe the detailing could be a little bit better on the rest of the figure besides the head sculpt, because it looks great on there. It's not god-awful throughout the rest of the figure, but it's a little bit of a stark contrast compared to the head to the rest of the body. Still not god-awful or anything. The articulation's a little tight on my figure, and some areas are going to be restricted because of how it's designed, so that's a little unfortunate. But the poses that you're going to be doing with the Ghoul, you're going to be doing with no problems whatsoever. 30 to 35 bucks might be pushing it for the Fallout line here. It's definitely pushing it for the Elite Editions. They're like 50 to 60. But if you like this character enough and this actor, and you like the Fallout show, like the Fallout series enough, I do highly recommend it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below what you think about this figure, what you think about the review. Leave a like, share amongst your friends. Follow me on Instagram for more content over there, and I'll see you guys later.